Alma Hanna. I live in Berry Springs, which is Canarican country. I'm here to tell you how proud I am to be an Aboriginal Australian living in Darwin. I was born in Darwin at the old Miley Point in the hospital on Larrakia country at a time when Aboriginal people weren't actually citizens of Australia, because I was born in 1965. In 1967, Australia had a referendum, and that's when Aboriginal people were counted as actual citizens of this country. So before I get into all of that, I'll tell you a bit about my family. My mum was Daisy Watchgool Hanna, or Morgan her maiden name was, and she's from Turkey Creek, Warman in WA in the Kimberley region. So I have family right through Kimberley region, right down to Broome, right even across to Okarinji. Because remember, Aboriginal Australia had no artificial borders. It wasn't until Australia became a federation that we actually put in state borders and all of that. So a lot of Aboriginal communities were split in half. So my mum, being a proud Gitcha woman, she came across to Darwin and met my dad around 1964, and I was born. My dad's of Irish descent. He came from Melbourne. So you can see that I acknowledge both sides of my family. I'm very proud to also acknowledge my Irish ancestry as well. I grew up in Bachelor or Rum Jungle near the old uranium mine, which is Canarican country. And I must really like that country because I still live on it, even though I'm like 50 kilometres away from it. And I spent most of my time working on Canarican country, and I'm really proud to work and live there and acknowledge that Canarican people are the traditional owners of that country. I'm really proud to have spent most of my childhood running through Litchfield Park, and I'm really proud to have grown up in a multicultural town such as Bachelor and Darwin. A lot of my friends were like Greek or Italian, Polish, German, and more recently I've made friends with other community groups such as the Bangladeshi community, the community from Indians, and also Nepalese community. Just in passing, I'd just like to let you know that Darwin is a very good city to grow up in. It's a good city that's very multicultural. We have festivals from different cultural groups. We have the festivals, the Thai festival, we have the Indian festival, and we're very accepting of different religious groups, and I'm really proud to be associated with different community groups. My mum being Gitcha, and you realise that in the Kimberley region, when you look at our history of Australia being built on the back of not only the British. So before my mum passed away in 2014, my mum always said, daughter, we've got this story. And the story is that my mum's great-great-grandfather was actually an Afghan in Kamalia, which then fits in with culture's intrinsic, and I always thought that there was something there. And for a lot of my life, traveling the world, and I ended up in India, and feeling an attraction of going to Kashmir. There's something that drew me there, and I ended up meeting and marrying a local. It all just fits in with how our world is so small, and how our cultures are so diverse, but also not just diverse, but also very cosmopolitan, and we all fit in one world, even though we're different tribes, different religions and all of that. We're all Australians here.